Hey everybody, welcome to The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. I am Sal.
I'm Ethan.
I'm Ben.
I'm Tiffany.
I'm Aaron.
Hey! Professor Thorgi,
Hey!
welcome to the show, man.
Hey, good to be here.
We made him read
None of
these
you
terrible
know
books.
what's going on behind the scenes.
Oh, no.
It's a legitimate operation, let me tell you.
So
Do not
legit.
be fooled. But we made everyone at the table read these 3 books, and so we're going to talk about them.
What's this wee business?
I did. It was my fault.
Yes.
Because I've been wanting to talk about vampires because there's no shortage of them in comics, which is why this is called Vampires Volume 1. Because there's never going to be a shortage of vampire books.
I'm not coming back for Volume 2.
I think Ethan needs to do Morbius the Living Vampire number 4.
Oh.
Even the
Sad
stand
omen.
is sad at
It's
this.
like, oh. You know why? Because you were doing it you were telling me about it last week, and I was so entertained. I want to hear it again.
Oh, now I gotta remember.
Yeah, come
Just speak from the heart.
on. Be funny.
But
Oh,
yeah,
thanks.
tell us what happened,
pressure
and
on
feel
it, I
free to
think.
jump in as we go.
Yeah, because I'm gonna forget stuff. 'Cause
what the
it was
hell?
a week ago when I read this.
That's right.
So
So what the hell happened in Morbius number 4?
this book is real dark. Let me just
Yeah.
say, like, it's right off the bat, you have a creepy doctor with like knives on his hands.
I think they're scalpels.
Scalpels.
He's got like
one's a
robot.
scalpel.
Yeah.
He's a
Yeah.
doctor.
Yeah.
and then
yes.
there's lots of other instruments, too.
Yes.
It's like an entire tool tray, like his hands can transform into them kind of thing.
Yeah.
He's like a macabre Inspector Gadget.
Yes.
Better.
Yikes.
He
yeah.
is a 90s, like, horror film, like, waiting to happen.
Yes,
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
a great
Well, that's
box
what this
art.
book is.
Yeah,
This
and
book is,
Yeah.
is
And
a
his name
horror
is
book.
Dr. Payne.
But
Dr. Thaddeus Payne.
Yeah, which did he always have the name?
I mean, I think it's spelled with a Y.
It's spelled with a Y, yeah. So
Yeah, that's his name.
Right?
That was just his path was set from birth.
Right?
And yet no one calls him Ted. Hey, Ted. Ted Payne.
Ted
Good to
Payne.
meet you.
Yeah, then he busts out the scalpel gloves, and that's the end of it.
there's like a professional football player who was born for that role with the name Ted Payne.
Exactly.
He
He
could
could
have
have been a
also-
football player, a hockey player.
He can
Or a
install
murdering psycho.
windows.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, I see.
I like what you did there.
Thanks.
Yeah, that was a good one. Good. Yeah.
So
what's
this
Ted up
book
to?
opens and he's cutting into a guy who's not sedated, of course.
Right.
Why would he bother?
It's more hardcore.
And he I don't even know what he's doing. He's plugging him into all these tubes.
He's trying an
It's a series of
experimental
tubes.
liver thing.
Okay, yes, yeah. And he's like, well, your sacrifice will help someone else maybe someday.
In the
and-
extraction of pate.
And he like indicates that this is a guy who is like a criminal or whatever.
Right.
So like,
So you don't feel bad.
I guess you don't feel as bad.
I mean,
I
it's
think
still
he-
horrifying.
I think he
It's
just
real
said
bad.
he's just a drunk.
He's a
Oh.
drunk.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
it. That was it.
He's
Yes.
just a drunk
he's a
so
drunk.
who was
Oh
in
my
a ditch.
God, we
Yeah,
cannot
he was in a
remember this.
ditch, right? So he was,
So-
you know.
Well, that
so
means he's
mixed up.
homeless and therefore has no rights.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah,
how that
exactly.
Well,
works.
no,
Or
he's
won't be
wasting
missed,
his
I
life.
think.
Right.
He's
Exactly.
Just, he's just, what are you doing in that ditch? Nothing.
I'm gonna give
Come
your
here.
life more meaning than it's ever had.
And pain.
There you go.
Yeah. And then we see that he has Morbius.
In the best color splash of tiles I've ever seen.
Yeah. What?
Where does one part of that begin and the next one end?
Then we cut to Spider-Man,
Naturally.
and he is talking to a CIA agent.
Yeah. His job is he's gonna kill
He's
Morbius.
after Morbius. He's going to sanction Morbius, which I guess
Yeah.
means kill.
That's the thing
don't
that
know.
you raised last week that I was like so fascinated by.
Well, Spider-Man calls him out. He's like, "Oh, why do you CIA types have to like use word? Just say what you mean. Kill him." And I'm like, "Does that mean that?"
Yeah, does sanction mean to murder?
I think they just.
In
made
any
that
I think
way?
he was kind of implying, it's like, I know what you're saying, I know what you're actually
Oh
going to
yeah,
do.
but the word sanction means to like approve or allow.
Yeah.
No, I have been sanctioned.
To
kill him.
to kill, yeah.
guess
Or
that
I'm gonna slap economic sanctions on him and prevent him from trading with other.
with other living beings
Yeah.
because he'll be dead.
So Spider-Man, he asks Spider-Man to help him. Spider-Man's like, "No, please."
And then he's gone from the rest of the
Oh
book.
no! The rest of the book.
He
until-
shows up
he
at the end.
He does.
but like
Yeah.
he doesn't affect the outcome of this book in any way.
No.
And
But he says no because he's got a spider tracer.
he's got.
on Morbius.
Yeah, he doesn't
knows
need
what to
him.
get
He knows where Morbius is, and this guy can't offer him anything. And he's
No,
gonna
and he's
kill
gonna
him.
kill
and
him.
Spider-Man's trying not to kill people because he's Spider-Man.
Yep.
So we cut back to Morbius, and this is when it gets real messed up. The Dr. Payne wheels him into his like experimentation room, where there's all these like torsos of people who are still alive, like hooked up to machines, like begging to be killed.
Yeah.
It's a nightmare.
It's like Alien Resurrection.
I never saw it.
A little bit.
You didn't?
That's a hell of a pull, but yeah, sure.
Oh, you gotta see Alien Resurrection.
No, you
It's
don't.
written by Joss Whedon. It's the worst.
Really?
movie. Yeah.
Oh shit! I do have to see that.
It's really bad.
That's
It just
cool.
reveals what a hack he is.
He says, "Is it sick to give their deaths meaning?" So that's like his whole
MO,
thing.
yeah.
Is like it's okay because
They were gonna die anyway.
They were gonna die anyway. So then he reveals that he's been
Well, we all
taking
did.
these patients
Yeah.
from a hospital who like
Almost
terminal like cancer patients and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Sounds
guess his
meaning.
reasoning is if they're going to die, like they might as well die horribly. So what does it matter? I guess
Right.
because he doesn't think that pain is bad.
It's basically he does explain at one point that like because of some experiment he lost his ability to understand emotions.
That's right.
He's basically like, yeah, so screw it, it's for science.
Right.
Like, well, what about
Well-
the people? Oh,
Well,
And
who
he
cares?
doesn't feel pain.
He doesn't
Yeah.
He's
feel
like that
any kind
Bond
of pain,
villain.
Right.
like physical pain or
Diamonds in his
psychological pain.
face.
Yeah.
Oh no! Don't reference that one.
I did.
That was nice. That was
Die Another Day, wasn't it?
no.
It was the
that was
second
that was
Pierce
Ted
Brosnan.
Turner.
Oh.
It was World
The
is
World's
Not
Not
Enough.
Enough.
I think.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Man,
Is
that
it
was
that
a
one?
Third one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Was Die Another Day the one with the Madonna song? 'Cause
Wow.
I
the
thought
one
that
with
was
the
the.
nuclear
It was one with Halle Berry,
physicist.
right?
Yeah, Christmas Jones.
No, that's
Jones.
not that one. That's not Ted Turner.
No.
No, that's the one with.
No, Ted Turner's the one
With
that he
Christmas
was talking
Jones.
about.
Oh, yeah.
Tomorrow Never Dies.
Oh,
Tomorrow Never Dies,
yeah,
that's
It's
okay.
Ted Turner. Yeah. It's not that.
No,
So
it's
which one had the diamonds in it?
the one with the princess from Braveheart.
Oh yeah,
Wait, the one with the diamonds. That's a different one. That's Die Another Day.
that's what I said.
Yeah.
Yeah, he feels pain.
Oh, does he?
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, there's a guy who doesn't feel pain because he has like a
Oh,
thing.
wow!
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
merged
He has a
both.
bullet and he's dying
That was
slowly.
it.
Yes.
Oh my god,
Wow,
yes.
I merged
Yep.
both of those.
Because I remember the
villains.
scene where he's like grabbing the rocks and like this burning hot rock. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And he's
And then they get into a fight scene that should have been cool, but instead it's just him going,
Yeah, they're in the sub. That's
Yeah, the submarine.
yeah. Damn it.
anyway, back
Back to
Spider-Man
Morbius.
and Morbius.
You can see how riveting these books are.
Yeah.
We have now talked about movies.
We've
more
never
than
not
comics.
talked about anything other than the book more than in this book.
I think I had something to do with that.
Definitely.
Yes.
So you think, that's the most horrible thing, but then like we cut immediately to him taking a patient who's fine right now.
She's a brain
She has
tumor.
brain
She has a
tumor.
brain tumor. Yeah,
But she's not like in pieces.
She's
all
not
over
yet
the
in
building.
pieces, and you get to see him use a whirring buzzsaw device and like cut into her while she's awake. And Morbius is like, "No, stop!" So you get to see that Morbius is like,
Really upset.
he's like a person,
Well, he was a doctor before this.
He was,
This goes
yeah.
against everything.
Right.
He's-
Yes.
Not, even
You
though
didn't
he,
sterilize anything.
She could get an infection.
Yeah, and what he explains what he's doing is he's scooping out her brain to
Because it's inoperable.
yeah, because the tumor's inoperable, and it's like you can't operate on that tumor. He's like, I'm not trying to operate on the tumor. I'm taking out her brain. I want to see if like the tumor is able to like grow into a brain that can like function.
Or sustain
Basically,
life. Like,
yeah. Because a tumor is a living organism. He wants to see if the living organism can basically like make up the space of the brain
yeah,
that's
like if
taken
he
away.
gives the tumor a chance,
Yeah.
maybe the
Yeah.
tumor can like
Because
Basically,
run the whole body.
That's what you need to do. Just give tumors a chance.
Right.
yeah. I'm
That's
sure
a
that
good
will work.
80s or 90s song where everyone gets together and sings.
Right? That's
Just
not.
give tumors a chance.
Get out of here.
No, yeah. And it doesn't work. She dies. And then
He's like, well, you are gonna lose a few.
right.
Anyway.
He doesn't care. You see how little he cares. And then what does he do to get him to freak out?
He like teases him about
Oh,
like
yeah.
how
He says that Morbius is actually going to die anyway, because I guess the thing is like Morbius.
has like a sickness in him or
Yeah,
something.
yeah, so he has to eat people, but he feels really bad about it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, but at least I'm like not dying. And the doctor's like, no, you're dying anyway.
Yeah.
So like all those people you killed was for nothing.
Right. You
He's
just
like,
did it
no!
because you liked it. And he's
Which
like, oh.
I don't really agree with, because I'm like, well, we're all dying. Like, we're all dying all the time. Like,
Yeah.
we're all gonna die. And he did prolong his life. So
Right.
it wasn't for nothing. Just because he's gonna die anyway. Like,
Yeah, but like sooner than usual.
No, but I thought I might live forever.
Yeah, because I'm a vampire. I should be like justifiably living forever.
I was sold a bill of goods with this vampire deal.
Exactly.
Okay, I don't know anything about Morbius. Where did he get his vampirism from? Did he do it to himself?
He did it
He
to
did it
himself.
himself.
He created it.
He's
Okay.
got a virus.
That's
Yeah.
why he's the
The
living
virus.
vampire.
Yeah.
Right. And
Yeah,
so
he's-
he's not really a vampire at all.
No,
Vampirus.
He's not a Dracula. Is that,
No,
that's what
Yeah.
you're asking.
He's not a Blair.
Right. Okay. So he breaks free because he's so upset from this revelation
Yes.
from this guy who wouldn't dare lie to him.
Right.
Like, I don't even trust this
Totally
guy for some
reputable
reason.
person, yeah.
Well, he's a doctor,
Right, that's the doctor.
I was told always to listen and trust my doctor.
right?
So he breaks free and he just kills everybody. He kills all the orderlies who all look the same.
Well, they all have awesome
Yeah.
uniforms.
They're all like old men, old white-haired men.
with weird sunglasses.
Yeah, it's very weird. I don't know where he got these people
all look
from.
strong.
That was
guy.
my question while I was reading this. Like, who would work for this guy?
Yeah, and not just one.
Well,
there's like 15
many.
guys here.
One of them has a scar over his eyebrow in his thing. I was wondering if they were like
Oh,
lobotomized.
you know what?
Oh, that's probably it.
You're onto something.
All
Good
right.
call. All right. Still,
Thankfully.
why do they all look exactly the same?
Well, he's also a Frankenstein.
Yeah. Well, the art isn't great, so you know,
True.
But it's not
They
the, it's
don't even
not,
bother coloring
it's
their
not
hair
the worst
differently,
art we have.
no.
No,
I don't know what you mean.
So after like 4 pages of fighting with these guys, Morbius mercy kills one of the patients who's begging him to let
He's
him
just
die.
a head.
He's a head.
Yeah.
It's you can't even really call him a patient. He's just a head.
Yeah.
He's not even a
Well-
person.
Okay, whoa.
I love
That means that all the heads in the jars in Futurama are not really people.
No, they're not.
Yeah, they're ghosts. So this guy dies.
This
and
guy-
then,
that show
of
just
course,
became
when he
way better.
When his head dies, he says, "Thank you."
He says thank you. Yeah, killing me. So then Morbius tries. The doctor gets away.
Naturally.
And Morbius tries to get him, and then Spider-Man like tackles him. And this is my favorite part of the book because Spider-Man is like quipping at him, and he's
Is it
like,
sore?
"No, you have to stop him." He's like, "Oh, you're not going anywhere." In this like really disturbing like horror book where there's like heads talking and stuff, it's just very incongruous for me.
Well, that's
Yeah.
why we brought Spider-Man in to lighten the mood.
Right?
Yeah.
Morbius has this great moment where he's like, "You're letting the monster free. Like you're letting this monster loose." And Spider-Man's like, "You're the only monster that I see here, Morbius."
God damn it,
Yeah, which
Spider-Man!
just enrages him even more. It's
Yeah,
great.
'cause he's like, "You don't get it."
Yep.
But then, like, of course, because Spider-Man's in the book, he's supposed to be like I'm taking a minute to like refresh myself.
Yeah.
But then it gets dark
Yep.
because then Morbius is like, "Oh wait, I'm a goddamn vampire," and then he hypnitizes him using his vampire
Well,
powers.
he
Right,
didn't know
which
he
he didn't
had
know he
it.
had.
Yeah.
And
The
so-
doctor basically said you have powers beyond what you already know.
Yeah,
and
you
this
have
kinda,
vampire
comes
power.
up.
You can do all the other. I guess you can turn into mist or whatever too.
Well, I hope not.
And Spider-Man got hit by a tranquilizer earlier, so he's kind of like.
That's
"Ugh."
right.
Yeah, they do say
They-
that that's why he was able to get
Right,
him.
because we
Don't-
don't want you to think
Don't worry,
that
readers.
Morbius could ever beat Spider-Man.
Yes.
Straight.
And in fact, I think they say it out loud
Yes.
so that you know.
Like Spider-Man
Yeah.
talks about how like weakened he is.
What about that time
And
that
Morbius-
Morbius specifically
Morbius.
says
mind controlled
if you
Spider-Man?
had-
If you'll remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Morbius has to know that he can't beat Spider-Man at full strength.
Right.
Like it's important that he doesn't.
Right.
Even in his own book.
Except
Yeah,
for the
in
first
his own
appearance.
goddamn
Yeah.
book.
Except
This
for
was
the
back
first
in the
appearance.
90s where every single character wasn't allowed to just be Batman and instantly be the best in their book.
Yes.
They have a clear hierarchy.
There was a big chart at Marvel.
You know,
I
at least they
guarantee there
had
was.
a damn chart back then.
Yes.
Because now they're just like, whatever you want to do. Does Doctor Strange have powers or not? I rest my case.
Yes. It's dumb. Morbius is like, okay, I stopped Spider-Man. I've completely forgotten about Dr. Payne, and now I'm just going to take your blood.
Right?
Yes.
I want
For
your
like
spider
something
blood.
that
I want
was
your
going on
sweet,
in
sweet
another
spider
book.
blood.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
must be referring to another thing, but like I love
That'll
it because
cure me.
Yeah.
I love it because Morbius takes Spider-Man's blood using a syringe though.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, he's a doctor.
Right.
Yeah.
And a
I
vampire.
assume he's going to use it, not eat it.
Where did he get it?
Well, I mean, maybe a little taste.
I'm sure he sounds exactly like that. And then he tells Spider-Man to
Stupid
forget
wheels.
it.
Yeah.
So Spider-Man won't remember any of this, so that he doesn't have to refer to it in his book.
Yes.
They could just ignore it
And
like
he
it never
doesn't have
happened.
and he has to live with the shame of having been defeated by Morbius,
Right.
even though he can know in his heart of hearts that he could have defeated him if he was at full capacity.
Yes, they covered everything.
Yeah.
And then I don't even remember what happens at the end.
And there's a clandestine phone call and some bad guys.
No, we're gonna
There's
go
like
back to the
some
CIA
guy
guy,
like
right?
at the very end that's like, who's this? I don't know.
Yeah, it's referring to like it's setting up more of the Morbius series that will be canceled probably in 20 issues.
Yes.
Oh, you think this got to 20 issues?
Dude, in the 90s, most of these, I was always surprised by how many.
That's
like-
actually, you
like,
have a good point.
We did Silver Sable and the Wild Pack. I think it went to 60.
Something like that, yeah.
I was like, what?
Night Thrasher got to 25. Yeah,
25.
You have a good point.
It
Yeah, but he
couldn't-
was so 90s. He had a skateboard.
Oh,
and
Night
nunchucks.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was thinking of Night Watch.
Yeah.
But yes, Night Thrasher, man. Yeah, Night Thrasher was badass.
For the record, I actually do legitimately like Night Thrasher. The gauntlet of garbage continues, ladies and gentlemen. So this thing, it starts off with, by the way, so often people who are like diehard comic fans complain about how they're constantly like resetting stuff and trying to make it new reader friendly. Read this book and tell me what the hell's going on in it.
Yeah.
This is what happens when you go on the opposite end of the spectrum. Like, this puts you in their shoes and you're like, oh, none of this makes sense.
Yeah.
This starts off with some crazy guy and he's talking about like Blade and Hannibal King and Frank Drake, which I don't even know that dude.
Good old, but he's really important to the story because they keep mourning him. And you're like, oh.
Also, the guy who's kind of telling the story sort of looks like Hannibal King.
Yes.
And I kept thinking it was him. I thought this was all one big flashback. I was like, well, I remember all the tattoos on Hannibal King, but whatever, you know, it was the 90s. That's
I
probably
thought
what
it
he
was
did.
the same guy too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not.
Poorly
And so
done.
he's having a vision of like a giant explosion, which apparently is a thing. This thing happened, and it's
Yes.
important to separate these two. This thing happened, Blade survived, but Hannibal King and Frank Drake both perished. But then there's another vision of like an even bigger explosion, and it's taking out New York City, which is kind of disturbing.
Yeah.
Looking
That
at one
didn't
particular
happen.
panel.
Yeah.
There's one panel in there that's like, oh, that's bad taste now.
This is a time capsule, guys.
Yeah. But then the guy wakes up and they call him Bible John.
Bible John.
That's it. His name is Bible John. He's got a cross on his head and weird symbols up and down his arms. He wakes up in this mental asylum and then he just breaks out of there. He is in like a souped up red sports car and is breaking through the front gate of this asylum, which there's no sports car in the 90s that could have done that. This book was not drawn by someone who knows what Blade looks like.
I wondered because he looks like crap.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what is this?
Expression on his eyes there, he is bugging out. But he's looking at, and there's like one actually semi-decent joke in here, which he's looking at a picture of Hannibal King and Frank Drake, and it's like, yeah, it's a shame Frank never popped up on camera, but old Hannibal kept trying to put bunny ears behind him. It's like, so it basically looks like just some guy giving a peace sign. It's like, that's actually, you know, that's probably,
funny.
Yeah.
I've never seen that joke done
Right,
with a vampire.
classic
Neither.
vampire humor. That's solid.
Yeah. And he's now moved into this building in New York, and he's talking about how it's his old stomping ground. And I'm like, you know he's from Britain, right? No.
Well, but he was stomping during the Midnight
he
Suns
did.
arc, and so, you
Oh,
know.
okay. His old stomping ground from the previous series a year before
that's
this.
right. Yeah, exactly.
Which in Marvel time was a month ago.
Right.
But he has now moved into this abandoned building that he promised to renovate for free living quarters. And his landlady... Yeah,
Yeah.
it
I
is...
have a question about the renovation.
Go for it.
Is that a skill Blade has?
Right, like, is he really good at, like, just
Have we
flipping
established-
houses and,
Yeah.
like, renovating
You
apartments?
put a lot of points into it.
I mean, I guess because he's really old. Like,
Well,
he's
how old
learned
is he?
No, he's
Like-
not.
Is-
Oh, yeah, no, he was, like, turned, like, only, like, 30 years ago or something.
Well, he was one
He
from
was born
birth.
that way.
Yeah,
That's
his
right.
But,
mom
like,
was
that
being
doesn't-
I mean,
bitten
turn-
as
How
he
does that
was
affect his
born.
aging? Like,
Yeah.
which that's another thing. I have seen writers talk about him being really old because,
not.
like, in
Yeah.
the most recent Mighty Avengers, I want to say, the one by Al Ewing, voice going even higher.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, they did like a flashback to the 70s, and he was still the same age that he is now.
Right.
So it is semi-established that he has very slow aging.
Yeah,
Well, so does
but
Spider-Man.
So does everyone in the Marvel Universe.
Well, yeah, but if you now flash back to the 70s, Pete's not even born yet, which makes me
Right.
sad.
Which is
makes
also
me feel-
weird because Blade was created in the 70s, I guess.
Yeah.
So, like, you know, they want to keep that whole, like, 70s blaxploitation roots thing going,
Yeah.
but you also can't capitalize on it if that didn't if your sliding scale isn't...
He's the only one in Star Wars with you can't make Luke Cage secretly 90 years old and
Right.
still have him like in the old tiara.
I guess that's the way they're gonna do it. Like it's a sliding scale, but it's also like no, Blade was created in the 70s, and now in the 2020s he will have been born in the 70s.
Yeah.
and so he was cool in the 70s, or he was born in like I guess the 60s or whatever.
Basically, just his vampirism like keeps stretching that out.
Yeah,
but-
it'll be like Captain America, where like the longer time there is between him being unfrozen and frozen is like makes it more interesting. You know,
Or
like, Cap waking up 10 years after the war is like, nah, that kind of sucks. But
Yeah.
like Captain waking
the
up
people
70
you
years
know
after
are
the
still alive and
Yeah.
kicking.
Yeah, you could just call Sharon. Like, what are you doing?
You
Yeah.
can just assume he took a class.
Yeah, I also think it's hilarious that
Learning
Blade is
A
going
night class.
Yes. He could take a day class.
you can
Yeah.
use the day walk.
I'm going to pause on that joke for a second.
That was good.
Just soak that in. All right. So yeah, apparently he can do renovations, but like he starts looking at his old weapons, his swords, his ninja throwing stars, because it's the 90s and people just assume that's what all cool weapons are.
They're cool.
Yeah.
That's how you kill vampires, is throwing stars.
Made out of
stars.
wood.
So he puts them away and he's like, all right, that's it. Time to say goodbye to that. And then we cut to, I don't know if they even say this dude's name.
No, it's incomprehensible because like
None of this
there's this
makes
dude
sense.
who's like he's like a disciple of this bad guy who in turn is an adversary of Dracula, but they're both he and Dracula are jockeying for like head vampire
hang on.
position.
It's literally it's like the nouveau versus the old school basically. 'Cause
Very much.
These are like the rich Blade movie vampires, and Dracula is the old school Blair.
When did the Blade movie come out though? In comparison to-
99. Not
So-
yet.
Not yet, but like that's
4 or 5 years
the Blade
after
movie
this.
is like apparently based on this.
It
right?
seems like
That's
it, 'cause
sad.
they keep drawing these ideas
Right.
that I'm like, oh,
And-
I know those characters. Uh-oh.
And that dude, like this guy's master, is the guy who killed the other guys. That's who they were fighting at the
Were
beginning.
they in previous?
Oh my god.
Yes.
Was he in a previous book, or was this explained later on down the
No,
road?
it's just it was in this one panel here where this guy's talking about how they were fighting
Varney.
Varney, who is that guy's master, and who he's
Right.
trying to bring back.
I
So
read
who
this
are you?
last night.
I'm a disciple of Varney.
That's the thing is this
disciple
book,
of Varney number
despite the fact that this book has a holographic feature and it's a number 1, it's impenetrable. It's referring to things that. What's amazing is you brought up a good point off camera where you were like, what was the previous Blade series?
Yeah.
Like where was Blade? And I'm like, oh, there wasn't one. Blade was just a character during these other like otherworldly character arcs.
So when we give him his own book,
Yeah,
We're gonna make it like intrinsically tied to
all that other stuff.
Yeah, but if you just followed Blade, and let's say you're like a Blade collector, there's like this decade-long gap between books, and you have no idea what's happening.
Yeah. This is why whenever like they launch a series out of like some big crossover tie event or something happening in another book, it's good for like a quick buck, but in the long run it's terrible because you read it and you're like, what was this thing?
Yeah, are you referring to Siege?
Yeah. In a video yesterday I talked about a character from Avengers AI and I was like, dear God, if you went back and read Avengers AI, it's an amazing book, but you'd have no idea what
No,
it
you
means.
can't. You can't dovetail off of that book.
No. So there's some guy, he's talking about, here's the thing though, this isn't even like poorly structured in comparison to like you have to know previous knowledge. This is all new information this dude is dropping right now because he's talking, we're going to, the entire world will want, and he gives some word, I can't even remember what it was, and I was like, I don't know what that is.
No.
And they don't explain it from here till here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's that many pages of an intrinsic part of this plot not explained at all.
Well, Blade has to go through a lot of stuff in that meantime.
Sure.
Inner turmoil.
Yeah, I guess.
I'll give this book one thing. It moves.
Yes.
It goes from one panel to the next quickly.
Yeah.
But this dude's talking about how they must be, there's, where the rebels against Count Dracula. I almost said Dr. Dracula. But then, like, his, like, associate, all he says is, will you take preventive measures? Good question, Mr. Angel. For which reason I won't cut you from the neck. And I was like,
That doesn't
what?
make any sense at all.
Just don't question me.
His next line is,
Never.
never question me. That's not a question.
I didn't question you though. What's
No,
up?
I am literally...
Yeah. Well,
I'm
maybe
not
they
questioning
want you
you.
to
I
know
just
that
asked
he's
the
just totally unhinged.
I didn't read the physical copy of this. I read this on Comixology, and I literally thought, oh my god, they forgot to scan a page.
No, that's... sir, would you like some fresh blood tonight? Never ask me any question! How many times do I have
It's
to
the
ask?
equivalent of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, this just makes no. He's really unstable.
Would
you
I
like
just
your
want you to
slippers?
know,
And
he's
he's-
an unreasonable boss.
And if he's willing to hurt his most treasured assistant.
Is
Oh
he?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he says that.
Oh.
He says, like, you're my
He
most
says,
treasured assistant, but don't let that go to your head.
For never question in favor, blah, you find losing. He says it in there somewhere.
Yeah.
I don't want to read
Take
it.
our word for it,
not
because
even
you're not
supposed
going to
to
read
talk.
How did you feel about the
But he does.
necrotech, Ethan?
What's that?
The necrotech.
Necrotech.
They bring
Yeah,
up
the
the
thing.
necrotech.
Oh my god,
no,
that's
no,
right.
that's a different thing.
No, they
There's
No,
a-
download-
I'm talking about that stuff.
Yeah, like this whole.
You're talking
like,
about the ace
thing
drug, but like,
is like necrotech, and then they never mention it again.
no, that's the most
Oh,
fascinating
you're
thing.
right.
I just
They
see those
download-
words and I just ignore them.
Because you had a real problem with necroplasm when we were talking about Spawn a while back. You were like, no, but that doesn't. I'm like, he's made of necroplasm. You're like, no, but that doesn't mean
Yeah,
anything.
but what does that mean though?
I'm gonna hack all of the ancient necro information.
Yeah.
So that I can figure out the future.
Yeah,
That's necrotech.
That's necrotech.
guess.
It's literally just they downloaded all the occult information and books and stories, and then factored them into an AI computer that
figures out what's going to happen.
out what's going to happen in the future, and Dracula's going to come back. Which is like, yeah, you can just wait around and you'll know that's going to happen because you're reading a Blade book.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Spawn for a second.
No, that's next.
This is the book I'm talking
Spawn's
about.
Necroplasm. Yeah, no.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. This is the most roll with the punches kind of book I've ever read. It's like, I don't know what that means. Keep going to the next panel. Got it. Good.
Yeah.
Yes, just keep pushing
I
through.
really thought that was going to come back because he made such a big deal about it and explained it all to us. I was like, okay.
Well, and it's amazing because
Well,
so
maybe in
few
2 or
other
3.
things.
I'm not, no.
They don't bother to explain other things
No.
with as much detail as they explain the necrotech. So it's like, what the hell?
All right. So Blade comes home the next day, and John Bible, Johnny Bible Seed.
Our
He is
favorite
sitting.
character.
Yeah, he is sitting. When did this guy ever come back? Give this guy
Right?
a Warren Ellis
This guy
book.
needs a... Where's his miniseries? Multiple Man and Johnny Bible.
Oh, honestly, you get Donny Cates on this. I'll read. I'll read anything by that guy right now. So he comes home, and John Bible is there. Bible John. I didn't mean to screw it up that time. That one wasn't for a joke. And the guy is making like vague wordings about like, oh, blood and destiny. I know who you really are. And Blade's like, I don't live that life anymore. He goes, all right, cool. Well, here's this compass, and he gives him this big this
It's puzzle box.
yes, okay, thank you. I was trying to think of the right word. This big Hellraiser puzzle box.
Yeah.
And Blade just looks at it and is like, okay, sure, I'll take it. It's like, weren't you about to like beat the shit out of this guy
He's
like
like,
5
I'm not
seconds
that
later?
guy anymore. I quit. I'm done. Well, I will take your compass that only leads to adventure and
And death.
He literally says it's like a witch's compass and leads to like
Evil.
obscure paranormal crap.
yeah. I guess I'll take that.
Alright.
I just moved into an apartment. I need a conversation piece.
Hey, Blade, what's that on your coffee table?
Oh,
That'd be
well,
worth it.
well, you'll see how it's
Funny story about that.
Pick it up.
it will lead you to witches or something.
Alright, so he gets home and he looks at this thing for like 3 panels. I'm counting it right now. It is 3 panels of it just being in his house before he goes, I can't ignore this. Then a suit up sequence, Blade rides again. I was like, you quit! You quit being Blade here to here. I'm counting these. 1, that's an ad. 2, 3, 4, 5. 2 of those pages you weren't on. We have 3 pages of non-Blade Blade.
And 3 of those pages are just him talking to his landlord.
Yeah.
Yes!
3 pages of interior design Blade,
I
and then he says, forget that.
I didn't buy this book to watch Blade make macaroni and cheese.
That's right.
Damn straight.
It's very weird because I've thought about how many like current age books like now we'll do the hero gives up kind of thing, and that's like they'll even start the series with that, and they will go, but we're gonna have the big turn point on like issue 5 of
Right?
a 6-part storyline, and that's the big cliffhanger at the end of issue 5. They're like, yeah, but those books never work because no one wants to read that many issues without that. It's like, God, this book makes me rethink everything I knew about comics.
Yeah.
So he goes, and by the way, I have to go on Urban Dictionary and look up some of these
Oh,
words.
yes.
Because, oh my God, there are so many bad 90s slangs, and oddly enough, not much in that one.
No.
But in this one, a ton, and even a couple in this one. But there are some, in this one, I at least knew the slang they were bringing up. I have never heard these words. He
Yeah.
goes through like some really beaten down parts of New York, and he goes, this is the exact word, skagging your next score or skelling a guy for straying. This is a bad book for a guy with a lisp to read. For straying onto your turf is all you got. I don't know what scragging. I don't know what skellin is. I don't think those are words.
Straight up are not.
It's like reading Dark Knight Returns.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't shiv.
Is this the future or something? What is
This-
this?
Spider-Man 2099 didn't have as many made-up slang words.
No, they had one.
They had one.
Used it over and over and over again. Skagging and skellin, or scragging. We had this conversation in another previous episode too, because they do that. They'll just be like, no. If you're dealing with anyone from like the streets, they have their own language, and so
I don't know what it is.
I don't know what it is. Yeah, I'm not from there, and I'm not going to go there and learn it. But like, but I will make it up and make it look really stupid.
I really want to look up who Ian Edgington, the writer of
You
this
know?
book, is, because I have a weird feeling he'll just be like in like a turtleneck, like just the most like pompous, just like, yes.
Oh, you'd like to know what skagging is, wouldn't you?
With a glass of brandy. Well, let me tell you.
The
I
most
have tomes of it.
the most I've never been outside my gay community look you've ever seen.
So they're scragging.
Not that I'm much there. Let's see. So he goes, he looks in, he finds instantly, because, well, he has a compass, so that's why he finds it.
Fair.
Yeah.
He's got the plot compass.
He finds
Yes.
basically the exact same thing we read in that book. It's a bunch of people who are hooked up to machines, just their torsos and heads popping out, and they're making some weird drug. I don't know if they're making it out of them or they're the test subjects.
They're the test subjects.
They're test subjects,
They
okay.
are making they made this drug and they're going to disperse like 1 million units tonight.
Yes, that's the weirdest part is when he says, "I want 1 million units shipped out right now." He's like, "Of course, my lord." I was like, I was expecting some line like, "I don't know if we possibly could."
Right.
Smack.
For him to like live
I'm
up to
aboard.
the
That's
threat he made
impossible.
earlier, where he's
Yeah.
like, "Don't question me again."
No, that guy,
I want 1 million units. Sure.
Yeah, well, he learned the lesson.
Mike, we don't have 1 million units. Shut up. Don't let him know that.
I didn't get.
Yes.
I assume that guy knew that was coming.
Yes.
I didn't get promoted to the head of the Exceladama Research Facility by being stupid, folks.
Yeah.
That's the name of it, by the way, Exceldama.
Yeah.
And they say they're going to get everybody in America hooked on this. If you take this drug, you are instantly hooked.
Yeah.
And they're going to turn it into the vampire states of America.
Which is what this book should have been called, because that's awesome.
Yeah.
The Vampire States of America is a title that I'm like, oh shit.
Remember back when Marvel made all those, like, the Avengers kill the Marvel Universe, Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe. I am shocked they never made a Blade kills the Marvel Universe where just everyone's a vampire. And I was
Right?
like, like,
That would
all these
sell.
other ones, you have to go out of your way to come up with a reason for the Avengers to kill everyone. Blade, it's the entire premise of his
It's
character.
like,
Yeah.
right there.
It's, yeah.
Low-hanging fruit.
Yeah.
Does the plot, does his scheme have anything to do with him being a vampire?
What an interesting
really
term,
sounds-
plot.
It really sounds like he's just gonna sell a lot of drugs.
Yeah, but he's trying to bring back what's his face.
Right,
The
right.
Dracula
Oh,
Oh,
companion.
yeah.
But the mechanism by which he's doing that is just he's just a drug dealer, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think.
But like it gets people hooked and it turns them, I think, into thralls.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it
Okay.
does.
So then,
Yeah.
like, when Dracula shows up, they'll be ready.
To
Yeah.
fight him?
Yeah, they'll
Or to
they'll
serve him.
throw legions
No,
of
they
addicts
hate
at him.
Dracula.
Oh.
So he gets in this fight, and oh my god! Again, I read this on Comixology, so I didn't know these were two separate pages. Here, it came back to back. They literally mirror flip a panel.
Yeah.
They do. It's so like I was
Lazy.
studying this. I was studying this to try and like figure out, did they actually just mirror flip this thing? If not, they just was like, I don't know what to draw for this same thing.
Yeah.
Because he picks Blade up by the hands, swings him into a big vat of stuff, then swings him into it the other way. It's literally the exact same panel.
Yeah.
Damn.
Takes out his knife, slashes the guy across the throat. There's Beavis and Butthead looking at breast.
It's a 90s Marvel book.
That's literally, yeah.
Because Marvel is publishing a Beavis and Butthead book. at
Oh,
this point.
really?
Yeah.
Oh my god, my store for the longest time kept that in the all ages section, and I had to keep fighting. Like,
We gotta move
guys,
Wow.
I know it was based on a cartoon. Hear me out though.
Past the cartoon
The
aspect
book was a
of the
little
show.
tamer than the show,
Yeah.
but
Right.
not by much. Incidentally, in the Beavis and Butthead comic book, there is a like, there's like an Archie Digest-esque moment in one of the issues I had where like it was how to make it look like the butter Native American mascot.
Oh, I know what you're gonna say.
Like, she's holding butter. You can like do like an arts and crafts project so it looks like she's just dropping her shirt and showing her boobs. It's by cutting out her knees and replacing the butter with the knee.
Oh my god.
But it's like an arts and crafts Archie Digest type of like watch Beavis and Butthead do arts and crafts and also teach the kids how to do it too. I'm like, who is this for? Like, can you imagine
I can't even
showing
get-
this to your parents like as a like 11-year-old and your parents being like, well, that's it for comics for you.
Yep.
You understand? I
Never
can't
again.
even get like the Macy's catalog with the lingerie. I gotta find some way to get my rocks off. Butter, Mom, you have to buy this butter.
Yeah, I don't
The
like the one with the
Land
cow.
O'Lakes.
I need the one with Land O'Lakes.
Have you tried Brock's Rocks? Because that'll get your rocks off.
I remember what it was like to be 13.
We need that butter. Come on.
I remember what it was like just going out into the woods hoping you would find something out there.
If you're not familiar, by the way, the woods would just naturally produce
Oh,
pornography.
The woods were the
Yeah.
internet back in the 90s.
Yeah, you would go out in the forest, and there, on like a stump, would be pornography.
And you would find it. It would actually, like, that many people, that many places across America would do that it was a common enough thing.
Yeah, it's a cultural touchstone.
Yeah.
People like, oh yeah, no, I would go into the forest and find porn. Like,
Yeah.
who's putting it there?
Yeah, maybe if you lived in a
Weirdos.
suburb.
Yeah, creeps, or I guess the porn fairy
I
was
live
also
in
a
the middle
creep.
of
There's just
nowhere,
one guy
and-
with a really long beard just walking around America with a bindle full of porn.
Yeah,
Just, yeah.
he's the Johnny Appleseed. of porn.
The unsung heroes of
Hey,
America.
second Johnny Appleseed reference. Though.
Yeah. I so wanted to make that joke, but I was like, I don't want to be the Johnny Appleseed guy. Someone else make that.
I'll take it.
All right. Okay.
So Blade kind of wins.
Kind of like he
he
blows
beats
up the
that guy.
building, and then the
Yeah.
guy's like, next time, Gadget. And then it cuts to random lady investigating where Hannibal and the guy who none of us will remember the name of after
Frank?
the show's over. And then Dracula shows up, and he's wearing a toga.
Yeah,
Kind of.
He looks,
Kinda.
he looks sick.
I don't know what is draped over what here.
He's wearing the smallest bit of cloth.
Yeah, he's got like one tiny thread like coming across his chest
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
But it's like so small up here at the top, I don't know if it's like tied into anything or
Right.
But then like around the waist here is a totally different part
Right.
going across
Yeah.
the goods.
Like they didn't know
And
what they were doing.
Also, that musculature is
Not correct.
does he have a pencil thin mustache?
Well, he's a vampire, Tiffany, so his musculature can be anything.
That's true.
He's also coming out of mist.
well,
yeah,
yeah.
he's Dracula.
Yeah, he's you know, one of
Or
his powers or something.
Yeah. Or he farted.
thank you. I was like, Ben, come on! I set you up here.
No.
Don't
No.
get
Sorry.
Not gonna.
Anyway, so Dracula's back.
So Dracula's in the
Bye.
book.
The
Not
thing
this
that
time.
the thing that literally everybody in the book was trying to avoid, and Dracula just comes back by accident.
This book stopped being fun to make fun of like 3 pages ago.
This is written by Dan Jurgens, so let's not forget that.
Yes, please.
While we go
but
through
don't forget,
this. Never
this
forget.
is 5 issues away from Superman's death.
Yes. So clearly, what happened was, you know, when Superman as a baby was put into the rocket ship, and then he goes off. And later on, here's Jor-El, you know, being like, you know, you're gonna go and you're gonna fight things, and like Brainiac's gonna come at some point. You're gonna have to deal with that. You're gonna have to protect people. Also, sometimes you're gonna have to deal with Dracula. You're gonna have to deal with vampires
Yeah.
and devils, even though that doesn't make any sense.
Yep.
You're the guy who's
Yep.
gonna have to deal with it, even though there's people like Constantine and Zatanna and Etrigan. You're gonna have to deal with this
I would love it if
sometimes.
he goes back to the Fortress of Solitude and he goes, Father, why didn't you tell me that this world had vampires? And Jor-El's just like, what?
What the hell
Oh,
are
what?
vampires?
Oh, there are these beings that are mystical and they suck blood and they live off. Okay, I sent you to the wrong planet.
Yeah.
I apologize.
They could have called Shazam. They could have called
There's no
anything.
time.
literally magic.
No time, Tiffany.
And there's plenty of times. So this book opens with, do you ever have a conversation with a 4-year-old or a 5-year-old where they're just like chattering at you about all the cool stuff that they
All
know?
the
All the
time.
You mean
time.
every time we
conversation
film and I
is
start
I've had it
talking?
over.
Right?
Yeah.
Anytime you've ever talked to like a kid of a certain age and they're like, and then, but my dad told me this, or my friend told me this, and blah, blah, blah. That is what Tim Drake is like in this with Superman.
I've
We're
talked-
hanging out, and he's just like, no, the best way to kill vampires is with a stake, and then blah, 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 blah. And Batman
'cause I
told me
watched
this.
the movie
And
once.
Superman's
And
like,
Superman's
uh-huh,
yeah, cool. Why are you here?
You just described half my customers at my store.
I can't believe I agreed to babysit you.
Right? Because I love, we come
Why
into
is
this.
he here?
I don't
There's
know.
I have the previous issue of this. It's in a Man of Steel comic. It doesn't matter.
That's what it feels like.
Chucky.
It feels like literally Superman was doing something and Tim Drake just showed up. Like,
Yeah,
"Hey,
that's it.
Oh,
Batman didn't want to deal with me today, so I'm with you now.
Yeah, Batman's away.
I'm with my other stepdad.
Yeah. So if you could like slow down your flying so I can keep up.
What's
that'd be
interesting
awesome.
is Dick Grayson is kind of like the big Superman fan in the Bat family.
Yeah.
He
Right?
named himself Nightwing after a Kryptonian superhero.
yeah.
Oh.
Which is kind of like a fuck you to Bruce.
I always love that. Like,
Yeah.
because I've got that issue where like he becomes Nightwing and it's just like, yeah, these were the 2 guys who kind of raised me. And I was like, wow, one of them actually adopted you, and you're still like, yeah.
But Superman, though, I mean, really? Can you argue with me? And Tim Drake is like the guy who was like, I'm Robin. Batman's where it's at.
Yeah.
So seeing him with Superman is interesting because it's like Robin has always traditionally worshipped Superman, but this Robin is intrinsically to Batman, and so it's fun to see Tim kind of like being like, "Look, Blue, you're gonna have to kill these vampires."
Yeah.
Like, he's
Which is
doing
hilarious
that-
because he like Batman would be like, "No, we've never killed
That
anybody."
was the weirdest part of this.
Right? But like,
Like-
no, but he's like, no, but sometimes you gotta take steps. You gotta do what's necessary in a way.
Yeah.
And
This
like,
guy doesn't know. Maybe I could convince him to kill
I
people.
love Superman's response. He's like, wow, Batman's such a whole lot of things. Like, for example, you're really handling this rope and you're not really scared of the heights. He just ignores everything that
Yep.
Tim's been
I'm
talking
going to
about.
give you a compliment sandwich.
Like, presumably he's been talking to them for the last 15 minutes. He's just like,
Yeah. Uh-huh.
yep.
And you're really swinging on those ropes really well.
Thanks.
can really keep up.
And it totally works because he's like, people don't usually notice that. Thanks.
Soup's tuned out long ago in this
He's
conversation.
listening to like TV on these the superhero.
Oh, that's interesting.
I'm trying to find a vampire right now with my super hearing.
Right?
Yeah.
So they go to visit Jimmy Olsen, who's in the hospital with injuries, his arm's all busted up, and it turns out that his girlfriend, who is related to Lois Lane, Lucy Lane. Lucy. 'cause
Like in
vampires-
Dracula.
Oh.
But we also have to have that alliteration.
Right, has been taken by the Lord of Vampires and is going to be turned into a vampire. They're doing like the multiple bite things where she gets bit first time and then she's like thrall and then she gets bit again and she become a vampire.
Yeah.
These books are nothing but thralls.
Wait, did they ever... This wasn't Lucy Lane's first appearance, was it?
I don't think
I mean,
so.
not this particular issue, but this storyline?
No. I don't
Okay.
think so. I think they've definitely.
Because that would be insane if they created a sister for her
Yeah, no, I-
specifically to be vampire.
No, I
right?
think they were like, we're gonna do a two-part vampire story, and and we need a girl who's gonna get captured by. Oh shit, we have a Lucy! Yes! Like
Yeah.
it just fell into place.
By the way, if you look up the word thrall because you just want to make sure that you're thinking it is what it is, over on the right-hand side of the Google page, the Wikipedia article for thrall from World of Warcraft will come up. That's not what it is.
I mean, but it is a lot better.
Yeah. So anyway, Superman's gonna go find Lucy and the vampire and all that stuff, and Robin's supposed to just hang out with Jimmy Olsen in the hospital. And, like,
sidekicks.
yeah, exactly. And Jimmy Olsen's like, we're not gonna just hang out here, are we? And Tim's like, no way, man, we're going after this vampire. Like, Superman can't hear this.
He's like, oh Jesus, I'm gonna have to chase these fucking teenagers.
Also, did you bring clothes, or are you just going to be in that hospital gown with
Gown.
the ass?
Yeah, I'm just gonna wear the gown.
Okay.
Are we gonna
We'll
fly?
get into it.
So anyway, so then we go into what this book thinks is a
book takes
Vertigo
a
book
turn.
at this point.
Hard
like
turn.
literally, they're trying to do Vertigo right now.
Yeah.
Like we go to hell, and
This
there's
is a
like,
Swamp Thing villain right
this
now.
is like a hilarious villain
Yeah.
with glasses. And it's just
He's
all-
a demon of the underworld, but he's like a nerd.
No, he's not a nerd. He's like a secretary.
Yeah.
That's why he has glasses.
All right, and like he's talking to Blaze, who's just like, you know, he's like, hey, I'm just giving you my like fiscal report essentially on the souls, and like we're missing a few, like they're supposed to be dead, but they're supposed to be yours, and they're not here. And she's all like, you better not have miscounted because I'm gonna check your Excel spreadsheet, and better hope.
You see, you messed up a formula. That was supposed to be a plus, not a minus.
Now
the
you
banality
go
of evil, Tiffany.
right now you go to the pit of pain and horror because of this. So.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Thankfully-
feast on your entrails or whatever.
Right, for all eternity. So then they're like, you know, let's go check out like some dude because she's got like an inkling. She kind of thinks she knows what's going on here, right? And like this guy's gonna kill himself, and apparently he used to work at the Bugle.
No,
No,
the planet.
The planet. Don't.
He's
mix up
walking
these-
around this whole time like, how did I get in this universe?
Yeah, he's
How did I
like,
know this
I need
thing?
pictures of Spider-Man, but he's
Belong
nowhere to be
here, I've
found.
gotta end it all.
My favorite part about this guy is that he looks like Vincent Price.
Yes.
And
Sorry,
I'm like,
I shouldn't be that excited about that.
No,
oh
but
my
he
God.
does, and he's also a
It's like
Superman
I just.
character.
It's also
Right?
like I just saw a magic eye suddenly appear before
right?
me.
But, like,
Finally, it's
he
a
looks
unicorn.
like Vincent Price, and that he's associated heavily with horror and this whole thing, and I'm just like, on purpose.
Maybe,
Anyway,
yes.
he used to be the editor.
Yeah, of
For
the planet.
the planet?
But the planet, when the planet was, I think, a TV studio or something.
Yeah, that was
he
the thing
did
they did back in the
something, but
90s,
he
yeah.
got fired, and he's got no family, and nobody cares about him. He's gonna kill himself. And
He was
Blaze,
a real dick, by the way, in the earlier stories.
Well-
Like he was like a J. Jonah Jameson to Spider-Man. Like this guy was to Superman.
You mean
Clark.
like he looks like J. Jonah Jameson right there?
no,
yeah.
he looks like Vincent Price.
Well, he looks like Vincent Price and J. Jonah Jameson.
Yeah.
Well, they had a baby.
He
Anyway,
looks like a merger of Perry White and J. Jonah Jameson, which oddly enough makes Vincent Price.
Right?
J. Jonah Jameson plus Perry equals.
So Blaze turns herself into an angel, and then like she saves him, and like wants to see if Superman will show up.
This is
Yeah,
Which
what-
is
why?
this
This-
whole thing
how is this part
literally
of-
makes no sense because her plan is Superman shows up, and then she's just like, my brother's involved, and it's like, oh, what?
Yeah.
It's the
Well,
weirdest
this is
thing.
a plan to like thwart her brother, but like, what? How?
Well, she wanted to.
Oh, she asks him like, you'll work for me, right, or
Yes.
something like. Do you? What is it?
She
Makes a
basically
deal
she
or
basically
something?
tricks him into becoming like a worshiper of his or
Right.
of hers.
So
Of
without
hers.
revealing who she even is.
Yeah.
And then like
Yeah.
she's spying on him, but I think her brother's used. I don't know, because at the end something bizarro happens. and I'm
Yeah.
just like,
It
not
feels
bizarro.
like she did this to distract Superman so he couldn't get there in time for the thing that happens next, but then
Right.
that screws her over by him not being there.
Right?
Yes.
But also, then this comes back later on, so it's like she did it all on purpose. But Superman saves the guy, and he's just like, I have to save him. Like, there aren't 1,000 crimes going on in Metropolis or wherever they
influences
are.
him.
Yeah, she says,
She
look over
talks
there,
into
look
his
by the
head, like,
Yes.
Go over there, go over there.
But that means that he's ignoring everything else
Yes.
right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he is saving this guy because he was going to kill himself.
Right.
And
So-
Clark
yeah.
knows him,
So
so.
he saves
But he
him.
wants to die. Like,
Right?
But then he doesn't.
So you're
save
not
Yeah,
people
but then he
who
got saved,
are
and now he
actually
doesn't
wanna
wanna
live.
die.
Yeah,
Yes.
True.
Well, he has,
Oh no, I've made a huge mistake.
that happens a
I'm
lot.
falling.
Right? So
There's a
then-
great documentary about that. People who
Yeah.
jump off the Golden Gate Bridge or whatever, who are like, the people who survive, they're like, yeah, halfway through, they all,
100%.
yeah.
So then we cut to Lucy's apartment where Nosferatu shows up.
Well,
where-
that's influenced by the movies, by the way. Like,
Yes.
he...
It's just Nosferatu.
There is a lot.
That is
No, because
just
in a previous story,
Nosferatu.
Lucy
But it's also-
and Jimmy are watching vampire movies, and
Uh-huh.
and they scare her. So the Lord of Vampires or whatever approximates the form of movie vampires. In a previous story,
Oh.
in the previous issue, he
That's
shows up as
cool.
Bela Lugosi Dracula to get her the first time, and then he comes back again to be Nosferatu.
Oh, you know, that's actually not bad.
Right?
But he's also wearing like techno armor.
Yeah.
Yes. He's,
Okay, that's actually bad.
he's totally baller looking. He looks like he came from the UK in 2000.
No, he's
With this hose out the back.
right, and he's got like weird legs because he's like part bat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never even looked at the legs.
Oh yeah. there's
Yeah,
a scene
he's really
later
cool
on.
looking. Jurgens does a really nice job
Oh,
with that
I think it was-
Nosferatu.
Was it
Yeah.
there?
Yeah.
Well, when he's got a biter,
Right there.
that panel is
Yeah.
awesome.
Straight up
Oh, is
cool.
it?
They're attached.
See there.
Oh, okay, yeah, that you can totally see.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's got like he's like part Batman.
Get it?
Yeah. I'll be going now. So
What's
anyway,
great is like this is just shots from Nosferatu. Like,
Yeah.
That,
Yeah.
Oh,
the
yeah.
next one where he's like doing this.
Yeah,
it's
where he
awesome.
goes, "Bleh."
where's Blair?
Yeah,
It's
it
cool.
looks great.
Blair.
Yeah, this is Jurgens at the top of his game, by the way. Like,
This-
I've
this-
never liked Jurgens' art more
This
than...
is possibly one of my favorite panels for no reason. I just love that
I
expression.
love that expression. That's what Jurgens should be looking like all the time.
Right.
But that's
Unfortunately,
also how Robin's mask apparently morphs to his eyes.
yeah, that's a domino mask. That's how it works.
So
Yeah.
For Robin.
Jimmy
And Hal.
and Tim's plan is Tim's gonna like use a modem.
Well,
He's gonna put a nasty gram in his home
this will
box.
get done in
This
about
was
12
the
minutes.
moment when this book went, we've been in the 90s this entire time and we haven't done
It
anything.
reveals its mask. Like, it's 1993.
Gonna connect the modem to this payphone.
Two things.
Yeah.
Cemented in time.
Hack into her security alarms like company so she can like you can find out if anyone's broken in.
Yeah.
By the way, guys, he's a vampire.
Right.
He really shouldn't trigger much of anything, especially like
Security systems?
yeah.
Well, he doesn't know anything about security systems because he's
But
from
like
the past
he
or
goes
whatever.
in like mist. What triggered?
Yeah.
Oh, he didn't
Well, it
remember
buzzes.
to mist. He just opened the window. Yeah. He turned into mist to fly, and then he turned into a person to open the window.
Oh,
So he
okay.
could set off the alarm so that they could find him.
So they know that
Maybe it sets off the smoke alarm.
Maybe he doesn't
there
give
you
a
go.
fuck. He's just like, whatever.
Yeah, I'm
I'll
the
try and
lord
stop
of
me.
vampires.
Yeah.
so
I'll just eat the cops if they come. Like, what? I don't
I'll
care.
eat them. They don't
Right?
eat them.
Well, whatever.
No, I will though.
He used his mouth to defeat them. That's what he does.
So they realize that he's shown up and he's clearly gotten Lucy, and then in Superman, the last horse crosses the finish line, gets to the apartment.
If only we had not stopped to hack the phone and had just gone straight to her apartment.
Maybe
Yeah.
we could have now. He finds a pool of blood, which is like an interesting visual for me because I very rarely see Superman
Yeah.
like
Yes.
detecting like
That's-
this, and like
He's like,
That was exactly my feeling when I read this book for the first time.
right, like I was like, wow, that's neat. Like
I've never
taking a
seen
page
that.
out of Batman's book there, huh?
Mhm.
So anyway, then we go and we see like this like it's like Batman, but not idea of like
It is that symbol that they used to put on the cover of the books, yes.
right?
Yes.
Like this vampire hanging out with all of his thrall and being like, okay, guys, this is where the pyramid scheme comes in. I turn all of you into vampires. Now, if each of you goes out and gets 2 more vampires,
Oh my god!
that gets two, and then
For the people at home, who didn't read this, she's not joking here. That's literally the plan.
yeah.
Don't these fools realize? They'll always be working for him.
No, the harder you work, the more rewards you'll get.
I
Guys,
drive a
I
Ferrari.
get 2 thralls, but I mean, we're all kind of his thralls, but they're still like my under thrall.
Look, yeah, you'll be my thrall, but then you'll get 2 thralls and you'll have thralls.
You'll be your own
But
boss.
they'll also be my thralls too.
Jesus.
Oh my god, I've sat in on so many of those meetings before.
Well, we just blew the lid off the vampire operation.
so Jimmy and Tim are racing to the cemetery because that
That's
really
where
doesn't
vampires
work.
go.
The whole hallowed ground kind of fine, whatever.
How do they figure out that that's where they'll be? Do they explain it?
protege, world's greatest detective.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got nothing.
Look, you something creepy going down? Where's the first place you're going to check?
I've seen movies, okay?
Okay, I don't live in the suburbs,
really
so there's no
scary.
creepy abandoned houses down at the end of the street. I'm going to the cemetery.
I know. Let's go to the malt shoppy. We'll check there.
You're Archie, right? I'm Jimmy Olsen.
No.
They got
As
here
long as we're
late
here,
because
we
they
might
had
as
to
well
go by
get
the
one and a burger
abandoned
and fries.
circus.
Yes. They bumped into the Joker.
It was like vampires.
There's no vampires
Not
here.
today.
Sorry.
He's like in her bathrobe being like, get out of my house.
I'm not supposed to see you guys until next week. Get out of here.
They asked these kids with a talking dog for directions.
Zoinks.
So their plan is they need to get Superman there because, again, Superman's nowhere to be found. So Tim's only solution is to have Jimmy floor it. They'll jump out of the car, let the car crash, and cause an explosion. Because Jimmy's watch was destroyed in a previous issue.
Yes.
So he can't use that. And Superman can't hear them.
Like if you shout Superman real loud.
Right,
Yeah.
they can't just scream.
I think Tim just wanted him to ruin his car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, you know what's going to be awesome?
We should totally crash.
Watching your car explode.
You know, it's
Step
gonna be
on the
great.
accelerator.
Come on! Oh, you're
Okay,
telling
and then
me
we'll
that
just jump out.
your dad / like, you know, Batman figure isn't totally rich and will just buy you a new one?
Right. Like, I don't
I do
understand
this
how
with
the
the
world
Batmobile
works.
the entire every single day, and it just bounces back because it's made of indestructible metal.
Yeah.
All
that's
cars
smart.
do that, right?
So then Superman shows up just as, like, the vampire gets a hold of them, because, yes, the car explodes. They're like, we're under attack. Gets a hold of both of them. Superman shows up, and he's just like, ha-ha! I saved you.
Yeah, it's better than the bat signal.
You know, like, yeah, Tim, that totally worked. Good job. Tim's like, this
You
is
did
weird.
something.
You're complimenting me.
Yeah. Nice work.
I don't know what to do
What's
with this.
happening?
Batman never does that.
No.
Right?
There's a reason the Robins like Superman.
Yep. So then Lucy goes after Jimmy, and he's having his own, like,
No, my girlfriend.
Yeah,
And
but
Robin's
I
like, you
love
gotta
her."
kill her. You gotta fucking kill her.
kill her. He tries to
Come on,
save
come on,
her.
stick her right now. Stick her in front of me. Yeah!
Wow. So Superman.
Tim, what's going on? I'm sorry, that went to a weird place.
I'm gonna lower this chair
I
until I
unlocked
sink
something.
below this table.
Welcome to the show.
Even the Lord of Vampires is like, I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
No, man, no.
That was
Missed.
so. Superman is fighting the head vampire.
But he's magic.
And he's just like, oh, but he's magic. I can't
I can't do anything.
I'm powerless to stop him. I mean, you could still punch him.
Yeah.
That's always been my question about. It's like, okay, if like they're magically powered by super strength and they hit him, I understand it hurts, but it's like it's not like.
But you can still punch though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like magic is also kryptonite. So
I mean-
it makes me weaker too.
Like,
Yeah.
He's got a chokehold though. I think
Right?
that's
Like,
it. He's
Jimmy's
like-
kicking his girlfriend right here. And, like,
Yeah.
that seems to be kind of effective.
Jimmy's
And
got
Jimmy's
some
a
moves.
person.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Look at that kick.
I know.
Yeah.
Oh
Arm
yeah,
wrestling.
he learned Aikido or something.
Yeah.
With a bum arm too.
Yeah, he learned Chuck Norris. Anyway, so Superman is going to be turned into a vampire. And here's where the vampire guy makes his biggest mistake. Instead of just doing it, he's like, Lucy, come on over here. I want you to do it. So now we have this whole thing, because now, like Robin's like, we gotta kill her. And Jimmy's like, no. And he's like, you're an idiot. We're gonna have to face the strongest vampire ever when he turns Superman into a vampire. Come on. Hello?
Yeah.
Although
fair
I,
point.
I realized like right after that, I was like, Superman is powered by the sun. He'd actually be like just a normal vampire by day 2.
Yeah, he would just die. He
Yeah.
would, he
No,
would
no,
explode.
see, man, then he'd be powered by the moon.
Because it's a reflection of the sun.
Oh, in a weird way, that could maybe.
That's an Elseworlds book.
Superman werewolf, I see it.
Oh shit.
So then they turn Superman into a vampire, right? Because
No,
that's what I want to see from this
because-
friggin' book.
No.
Oh no,
and they
but
talk
her
about
fangs,
how
her
badass it
fangs
would be.
touch his neck.
Yeah, and like you see like the gentle pressure, and then Blaze is like, I think not, and she causes like this huge light that's like the sun, and I'm like, she's gonna burn them all. No, she saves all of them and like reverses their vampirism, and like
Yeah.
it is kind of hurting the main vampire, but he's gonna leave. He's just gonna go.
He's gonna go.
Superman-
Then where's
No,
this
my-
coming from?
My pyramid
this guy.
scheme. Oh, it's the FCC
You know,
or the B whatever.
The
Better Business Bureau.
the lights coming.
You're allowed to badmouth the FCC anytime you want.
The lights coming from the ether.
From the sky.
Yeah, it's just.
Yeah, she just
It's not her.
snaps her fingers or something.
And it
She
happens.
goes, hey.
Yeah, okay, I'm done. Yeah,
Yeah,
go away,
yeah,
vampire.
yeah.
Oh, I could have done this the entire time.
Yeah, and what does this have to do with the earlier part of her plan?
That's okay.
With
Here's
the
the thing.
guy?
I was saving it for this point, but now that we've revealed everything, she wants her brother to be taken down by Superman So her plan was to stop Superman from reaching him in time to stop him.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
But that's not even her brother that we'll find out. Like, this vampire guy's not, he's not the brother because we
No.
gotta keep you buying this book.
What does it matter? He's gonna
he's just
die
a
in 5
random
issues.
vampire.
Wait a minute, this is just Old Man Withers.
But you don't know that yet. You don't know he's gonna die in 5 issues.
Right.
So Superman has to deal with this vampire, so Superman pulls him, like, grabs his leg, and then, like, he kind of careens out of control and knocks his helmet off, and then he falls on the soldier's bayonet. There's, like, this statue, and it makes him explode.
Which is not
Yeah.
wood.
No.
No.
Maybe it is.
You just needed a stake. It doesn't
Yeah.
have to be a
Yeah, it
wooden
doesn't have
stake.
to
It has to be a wooden stake, but whatever.
Oh, well, I
That's
mean,
what Tim was saying.
what
Says,
rules
but
are we in
Tim
here?
was
I don't
wrong
even
about
know.
everything in the
Right.
entire story.
Oh,
so
that's
Yeah, but he swings on a rope so well.
Right?
true.
He does.
It's very
Good
impressive.
for you. So then Superman's like, cool. I mean, like, I didn't
Oops.
do that, but me.
He's not a human. I can kill him.
Everybody's-
What if he's really upset? He's like, oh, no, he disappeared. Oh, I really hope I didn't kill him.
Oh god.
Oh, but like Superman does say, like, wow, it totally did work. Like Tim's solution was right. A stake through the heart.
Yeah.
Neat.
Good thing we didn't do it to Lucy because she would have been dead.
Yeah, nobody addresses that. Like, hey, see Tim, you see why?
Yeah, this is why we don't just kill people.
because
maybe
Because maybe there's a
phantom
way.
lights out of the sky will show
Yeah,
up
maybe one of the
and
devils.
just magically fix all of it.
I was about to say, you can't really be that hard on him because it turns out that the thing that saved them all was something 0 people knew could possibly happen.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That is true.
So then, like, Blaze is just like, yeah, I claim victory, but, like, the fight's really coming, because, like, my brother, Satanus, I'm going to give him some crap.
So did Satanus
He's
have
out there.
anything to do with this?
No.
Nope.
No, she was just wrong?
Yes.
But he's still out there, though.
Sure.
Well, he's, like, I think he was in one of the people.
Yeah,
like,
he's in-
this, like,
yeah.
because this chick we saw earlier in the crowd,
Oh.
he has possessed one of the thrall, or she, I don't know.
So
Dear
maybe
God,
he's
he
part of his
really
plan?
does look like Vincent Price in that shot right there. That shot right there,
And by the
holy
way,
cow.
Vincent Price gets his job back at the planet.
I think he gets a better job.
Yeah, you get
Yeah.
something different. You get something better.
He got any job back.
Right, he
Yeah.
got a job.
He got a job. He got this editor job.
The managing editor.
Yep. So there you go. But like they're like, hey, did you have fun with Superman dealing with vampires and other things? We'll strap in. Because now he's gonna deal with devils and demons.
No,
Which is
we're just
what-
gonna kill him with a space monster.
Which is
what's-
what you want in your Superman.
Right?
Yeah.
You want to see him fight things, he can't.
Well, the
He
thing
has
is,
no ability to fight.
he's boring and not selling right now. So we're
Yeah.
just gonna kill him off.
So maybe vampires?
So how about vampires?
Does that pique your interest?
How about Robin? You guys like Robin?
Yeah.
Because he doesn't do anything in
Well,
this book.
Well, I guess we should just kill him.
Yeah.
Because you're clearly not reading.
Maybe we could have Robin deal with not vampires and have him be with Superman for a little bit.
Nah.
No.
Maybe we could have Robin kill him.
Oh.
Oh.
With a stake through the heart.
There you go.
So there you
Robin,
have
I'm
it.
not a vampire yet. It's just crumpled against me.
Volume 1 of the
Robin,
vampire
stop it.
edition of
Stop
The
it,
Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. So which one's the good, which one's the bad, and which one's the ugly? Which one's the good? My nomination... Actually, you know what? Aaron, what's your nomination for the good? Which one's the best one out of these 3?
I'm about to blow your minds. I kind of actually like the Morbius book on some of
Oh, thank God! If you said Blade, I was like, get the hell out of
I
here.
gotta punch him in the shoulder because I'm with you on that.
What?
Okay.
I agree as well.
I also agree.
Okay, because we were
Wait, Sal, what's your good?
Superman!
No.
Get out.
I'll go ahead and say, I will always be a fan of Superman just being the, what's the matter, Jimmy? And like, anytime you write that, it's like, I'm going to enjoy it. And also, the stuff that they did with, like, I didn't know that there was a reason he was Nosferatu. That's actually kind of smart when they did it like
Yeah.
that. And also, as far as vampire designs, even though he's got the weird techno thing going for him, he's the least dumb looking one of any of them.
Yes.
All the vampire stuff is like legit in this. All these other things are like making
Oh, no,
up
no.
new crap
See,
for vampires.
I disagree. I think this is the most traditional vampire issues in it. The man versus the monster being the man.
Thematically.
Yes, I think this
Yeah.
is the strongest vampire book.
I think this has better vampire visuals.
I would
But-
agree 100%.
Yeah.
But it's more demonic than vampires.
Well, the demons do show up, but like the vampires themselves, like
He's also not a vampire.
no, he is a vampire.
No, he is a vampire.
He's a vampire.
But like how? Why?
Because vampires are agents of Satan.
Yeah.
Kind
Oh,
of.
Or
Satanus.
something.
Satanus.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
But yes.
it's
In that,
more.
yeah.
And in this, that.
Yeah,
yes.
they're evil. So yeah.
There can be many Satans.
I also enjoyed the overall tone of this more so.
That's the thing that got me. I am a massive horror movie fan, and I went into this like, oh god, gonna be some lame '90s crap, and then it opens up with Thaddeus Payne. I was like, yep, here we go, strap yourselves in.
Yeah.
But then when it gets to that moment where he goes in the room and it's nothing but people being tortured and bleeding and dying, I was like, this reminds me of like weird European '70s horror, like,
Yeah.
and I love that stuff, and I was not expecting it at all. And when I went in there, I was like, oh. Okay, and then they continue along that, and like the moment in which he's like killing this woman by giving her a lobotomy, and Morbius like screaming to come out, I was like, yeah, we make fun of it, but it's like, dude, that is a horrifying image to
Yeah.
picture
Yeah.
that, and
Yeah.
I just thought, yeah, man, just as a horror fan, I gotta give it to Morbius. I mean, granted, these other two weren't trying to really be that. I mean,
No.
maybe on some level. But this one, I went into it expecting nothing and was actually kind of pleasantly surprised. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's still all this stupid stuff that we talked about.
Yeah.
But I gotta say, I think the horror aspect on this actually works better in here than I've read in most other superhero books. Not just comics in general, but a book involving a superhero of some sorts. This one actually had some better horror elements than I typically get.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
It went deep. Like,
Yeah.
it was a terrifying book.
Yes!
Yeah, and I like the fact that I hope that they would deal with that character again, because again, you have like Morbius being a monster, but having been a man and recognizing and seeing the monster within a man, a human. You know what I mean?
Right.
And
He's like, everyone thinks I'm a monster because I'm a vampire.
Right.
But like, that's the real bad guy, and he got away.
Right,
Because
and
he
which
looks
is-
like a normal person.
And which is why, like, yes, it's ridiculous and over the top that Spider-Man shows up and he's quipping and stuff like that. But I kind of like that because it's like you're taking the superhero genre and you're putting it into this book, and like Spider-Man's not used to dealing with this at all. He's
Right.
just kind of like, no, I've dealt with you, Morbius, but like I don't know what you're talking about.
Right,
Also-
it's kind of
If
commentary.
you could have seen what happened in there!
Yeah.
Yeah,
He never does.
but if he did, like, Spider-Man would have gone into like a guilt, like shame spiral.
Yeah.
Like,
Are you kidding me? Spider-Man would have just immediately started throwing up and
into his
crying.
mask. Yeah.
I've actually read issues where that happened. But yeah, it's in a very weird way when you think about it like that. I mean, picture this story, but only from Spider-Man's point of view. This is just another day in the life of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I gotta go and stop this villain, punch Morbius, day later. It's like, dude, you have no idea what
Yeah.
horrifying stuff just happened outside of your immediate vision.
Right. That's fair. All right. Well, which one? So between the two, which one is the bad and the ugly? I mean, I don't vote for Superman being the bad. But
Is there any suspense on this one at all?
It's Blade is the ugly. Blade
Oh
is
my
the worst
God.
one. It's the
Hands
worst
down.
one. It's the worst.
Yeah, it is.
It's
We're just
horrible.
gonna-
I give it a
Holy-
bit of credit for like going all in on the premise. Like,
oh, it's all in.
it's like, no, vampires are
Suck.
this like secret society of like, I guess, rich, like
Aristocratic
Eurotrash?
people,
Yeah.
Eurotrash,
Yeah.
yeah, like, and that this is what they would do if they had this technology. And I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, okay,
All right, but like
I-
you could tell that story a little bit less crappy.
Well, that's the thing. Like, it sucks.
right.
It's like garbage, but it is like a cohesive thing.
Yeah.
Aside
However
from his-
terrible it is.
Aside from his landlady who was hitting on him,
Right. Well, she
like,
in a
you all
cute.
want some chili or some what I have? You could always have something else off the menu.
I mean, it's cute. It's just
Like,
a cute,
Jesus.
like,
Yeah.
all right.
What the hell are you doing?
Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas this,
Just hoping.
I'm like, what do you do? This is just a mashup.
It's so lonely.
Yeah. Well, it's just hey,
Superman
wouldn't it
and
be neat?
vampires. I'm smashing them
That's
together.
literally it. Like, it's just I want to see I want to see Superman in a vampire story.
There's still stuff in there that I like. Like, I feel bad kind of
He's
even
the
just saying
cook
that's the
from
bad one.
Billy
Right.
Like,
'Cause it's not the bad.
it's not bad.
just-
And
right.
even then, I'll
like,
still
the
say,
woman
like,
in
Oh yeah.
I dig
Yeah.
seeing Tim Drake and
Oh, I
Jimmy
got you all
Olsen. I've
these
never seen them
snack
before.
packs.
Right?
They're
That's
actually kind of
cool.
fun
They're
together.
fun together. That'd be like that's out. It's almost a
You want me to take my
spin-off
shirt
book.
off?
Yeah.
No.
Right. And as ridiculous as the premise is, and silly as it is to put these things together, I do like the way it's done.
Yeah, like the
Yeah.
point you made
It's
earlier
more
about
muddled, I think, but
yeah,
it's still
when Superman
works for
shows up in Lucy's apartment and it's dark and he
Yeah.
finds blood and that image of blood dripping down his finger.
Yeah.
I remember as a kid buying that and being like, I've never seen this before, and it's being executed well.
Yeah.
I wasn't like, oh, this is executed perfectly. I was more like, that's cool. It was like a Batman book.
Yeah.
But Superman's like, I don't know what to do in this situation. There's like blood everywhere. I'm looking for a missing teenager, and I think there's like a vampire. Like when he bursts into the room in a
great
classic
looking
Superman
panel, yeah.
pose,
Yep.
but he's powerless to do anything.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so I'm
Visually-
just giving it a little bit of a like if it's due.
Yeah, visually,
But-
Superman and Robin is a great book.
That's
And
also true.
I
Yeah,
think
it's
it
the
had the
best
best
art.
art.
And Jurgens
absolutely.
fucking knocks it out of the park, man. Like out of all 5 Superman titles that were coming out at this time or whatever, Jurgens was the one I enjoyed the most, and this is why.
Yeah.
Like I wanted to see. This is the closest thing to like a Jurgens drawn Batman book that I'd ever owned. Because Robin looked great.
This was scary.
Yes,
Yeah.
it was legitimate.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
is not.
Like,
This is not.
I'm not a
scary
horror guy,
at all.
No.
so that's probably why I didn't like Morbius so much. Because I'm like, this
Yeah.
is too.
Oh, there's nothing there
No,
for you if
It's,
you don't.
it's
if
not.
you
It's just like it was just like, ugh. And I'm like,
there-
right on. But like I recognize it was actually executed
Screw
well.
you, stand.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, and I'm not a horror fan really either, but I do appreciate that is like a legitimate horror book.
Yeah.
And it made me feel like uncomfortable.
Yes.
Right.
Where
That's-
these books did not.
Like
They-
I was
well, I
actually
thought it
picturing like
sucked,
if
yeah.
I was watching this as a movie, like the scene of like him just like cutting out the woman and he's screaming trying to get out. I was
Oh
like,
yeah, that's
shit, that'd be
straight up
good.
70s
Yeah.
schlock. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Blade sucks.
Yeah.
oh,
Blade
it's
is-
so
There's
bad.
like nothing good. The art's horrible. The artist doesn't know where the head attaches to the neck.
No.
Like they just don't know.
Well, I can do
The
facial
structure of
expressions, too.
Blade's face changes
Oh, wait, I
like from
can't.
panel to
Oh,
panel.
constantly. He does not know how to draw a Blade.
No.
Because he doesn't know what Blade looks like, because nobody does at
Yeah.
this time.
He's bad at drawing the vampires.
The vampires look stupid.
Yeah,
the
his-
technology is
His
incomprehensible.
buildings are decent. Like he can do a building. But
I'll give him
Oh,
that.
well,
There
but it
you
ain't a
go.
brochure. It's
You understand? I trained to be an architect.
yeah.
yep, he can draw a building.
Also, I'll say another like real strike against that. This one doesn't really have a lot of '90s like feeling to it. It could have been
No.
anything. That one, aside from him having to hack into a payphone with
Yeah.
a portable phone, it
It
could have
could
taken
be
place
yeah,
anytime.
anytime.
Yeah.
Oh my God, this is '90s in the
no
worst
way.
way.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
Blade one cannot come out at any other time than 1996
I don't
or
care.
whatever.
I want to, but I just don't.
No, I love the proportion of Blade to motorcycle. I'm
Oh,
like,
how
He is
he's
the
massive?
size of
Yes.
a motorcycle.
No, you understand? I got a baby bike.
Look at how far up his knee has to come to his elbow.
Yeah.
Like, the artist even knows he's gigantic in there. It's not like he changed Blade's proportions. Blade still has normal proportions. He's forced him to sit in a tiny ass motor.
You don't understand. I have to get a motorcycle license if I want. I just got a scooter, and it's 150 cc's, and I can go about 35 miles an hour, but
Yeah.
it gets me where I go. Look, the miles per gallon is amazing.
Yes.
You know how much I'm saving on gas?
he's like, also I can store it in my apartment.
This book existed before the internet allowed people to look up reference pictures.
Yeah.
Bingo. Yeah, this dude had one picture of a motorcycle that he got at a restaurant,
Also-
and that's really it.
I gotta say, I'm sorry to the colorist, but like, dude, I get it. This was that time where Photoshop, everyone was like, digital, yes! You found the airbrush. Good for you.
Oh my God, you're right. Like, the lighting effect is totally the airbrush effect.
There. It looks awesome. No.
No.
I could not stand the flashlight
Oh,
here.
That's
that
so
makes it
weird.
crazy.
Bubbles.
She's dropping
Like-
it. She's dropping the flashlight, and it's revealing Dracula. It's supposed to.
It's lens flares.
Yeah.
Look at how
Garbage.
Jesus,
sparkly
Michael
that
Bay.
is.
Yes. Yep.
It's
I don't know.
very weird.
Well, this is like the precursor to
she's Dazzler.
Twilight.
Oh.
I get it.
I don't think so.
That's-
But so there you go, everybody. So Vampires Volume 2 coming out like later on, but not for a while.
Not for a while, please.
But yeah, and I promise there'll be
more.
very different vampires, like very different styles of vampires.
But they're still gonna suck.
They have to.
They might bite.
It's the premise of the show.
So we'll see you guys next week, and thank you so much, Aaron.
Oh,
Professor Thorgi,
pleasure.
for being here. If you guys want to check out his channel, go to the description box down
I'll
below.
just
Click the
clap,
link
that's
there. You will find him and subscribe to him and all of that. Thanks a lot for being here, man. We'll
Thank
see you
you.
guys next week with an all-new episode. I'm Sal.
I'm Ethan.
Not Ben.
I'm Tiffany.
I'm Aaron.
Bye.
Bye.